Coming up on this week's edition of Thunder Insider, we go one-on-one with the Thunder's big man. Kendrick Perkins is in the house.
How do you prepare for a game? What do you do? Rituals?
I do the same thing every game day, so I don't know, I'm very superstitious.
The Thunder were in action on Christmas Day. We look back at the big game in Miami and the great month of December. And it's been a busy holiday season. The entire team made a special visit to a local hospital to brighten up their Christmas.
You got glue in your hair.
No, I got glue everywhere. That's okay.
It's all coming your way, starting right now on Thunder Insider. Welcome to another edition of Thunder Insider alongside Matt Pinto and Grant Long. I'm Leslie McCaslin. We hope you and your families are enjoying a very happy holidays. Well, guys, let's kick this off starting about that game against Miami on Christmas Day in which the Thunder fell just short, 103-97. What did you see from this game?
You just talk about happy holidays, and the first thing we're talking about is this, yeah.
Sorry, let's get right into it.
Here's what I saw, Leslie. A lot of things out of character for this team. There were lapses mentally late in the game that cost them ultimately the chance to win it. But also, Grant, this team's been really good scoring in the paint this season. They're among league leaders at almost 58% once they get into the lane. 40% efficient in the game against Miami. On the flip side, they allowed the Heat to make 70% of their paint shots, whereas they allow only 47%, which is, again, among league leaders. So some areas that normally are money in the bank weren't for the Thunder in this game.
Yeah, and you mentioned those money in the bank areas, and I think when you look at that game as a whole, the Thunder got to a point where they were able to execute all the things that they normally do. They got to the free throw line a hefty amount. They got their points or their opportunities in the paint. They just didn't convert on them. And when I look at that game, it wasn't the Miami Heat defense that did not allow the Thunder to score in the lane. They just missed a lot of easy shots. The thing that you take away from that is the fact that you were able to get into the lane and create those high percentage opportunities, but you've got to be able to convert, especially with a game of that magnitude. You have to be able to convert on your easy opportunity baskets because they don't come very often.
Well, this team has been very resilient. We've seen that in the fact that this is the first time they've lost 2 games in a row. Is this something that they can just quickly recover from? I know they said they had a really good practice right after in a good film session.
I think they will, but I think it is a challenge because there was enormous emotion, a lot of buildup around this game. And Grant, I'll ask you as an ex-player for 15 seasons in the league, now it's Dallas, a team that comes in struggling a little bit. How do you refocus quickly and bring the same level of intensity and energy?
I think the main focal point for the Thunder will be the fact that Dirk Nowitzki's back in the saddle. He's riding into town, and I think that alone, him being able to play, will make sure that this Thunder ball club is focused because they understand how well he's played against them in the past, and he's more than capable of putting the Mavericks on his back and leading them to victory. So I think that focus is going to be very good from the outset of the game.
In the month of January, they go on the road so many times that first week with games against Phoenix, and Brooklyn is going to be very important. But what do you see when the offense isn't rolling as far as it was against Miami? Because so far in the last couple of months, it has been. They are number 1 in points per game in the league and number 1 in offensive efficiency.
I think when it bogs down, we look at this Thunder team and the ball never really gets below the free throw line. When you see it get below the free throw line, that means bodies are moving, the ball is moving, you get easier opportunities at the basket. But a lot of times, especially in that Miami Heat game, the ball stayed above the free throw line. You can't get a whole lot accomplished above the free throw line except jump shots, basically contested jump shots. So you have to stay away from that if you're the Oklahoma City Thunder. You stay away from that area.
And I'm going to go to the Christmas axiom of it's a season of sharing. When they share the ball, when they make the extra pass, they're able to create opportunities for guys from the corner to shoot threes, from the wing, unobstructed views at the rim. But it comes down to trusting your teammates. And I think when this team does that, Leslie, they're incredibly difficult to deal with.
And speaking of hitting those shots from the corner and from the perimeter overall, that's another thing that this team has been so good at. They're also number 1 in the NBA in three-point range, shooting 41%. I mean, that is a huge part of what this team does offensively.
And there's so much attention paid to Russell Westbrook or Kevin Durant when they have the ball, Grant. Those guys are loaded up on all the time. When you see Thabo Sefolosha improving his stroke and willing to take that corner three. Kevin Martin brings that with him into the mix here. It makes an enormous difference.
Well, you talk about moving the ball. It can't be a second guess type thing. It has to be a first nature type thing. When you see a guy open, get him the ball quickly so he can shoot the ball. It can't be one of those, well, I have nothing else to do with it, so I'll let you have it now. You've got to make your offense work to a degree that it creates those shots from the corner for guys who can make those shots, like Cephalosha, like Martin. You want to create opportunities for guys to make or play well in their area of expertise. Thabo Cephalosha is coming around with his three-point shooting. Somehow you have to make sure that he gets the ball for those corner jump shots.
And I think one thing that this team already realizes, and one thing Kevin Martin had told me earlier a couple months ago, was there's going to be a time when this team does lose a couple of games, and when they lose, they're going to learn even more from that. And I think we're already seeing that. Thanks, guys.
Ahead on Thunder Insider.
Who outside of basketball inspires you?
Gotta be my grandfather. He the one that actually put me on for my first job, and that was just pulling my lawnmower around the streets and just cutting neighbors' yards for about $5 with a jug of water. Hi, my name is Kendrick Perkins, and you're watching Thunder Insider.
Welcome back to the studios of The Oklahoman and NewsOK.com. Well, since coming to Oklahoma City, Kendrick Perkins has become a valuable member of this team. In his 10th season in the league, he not only brings experience, but his teammates rely on his communication, especially on the defensive side of the floor. We had a chance to sit down with the big man, and here's what he had to say in just his second full season with this team.
Perk, what do you want to improve on this season?
I want to pick my field goal percentage up.
How does one go about improving that field goal percentage? What do you have to do?
The best way to do that is just getting in that gym. There's nothing to beat it. My high school coach told me, whatever you put into something is what you get out of it. So, if I go in there and put my work in, the rest will take care of itself.
With the new guys that you have that come to this ball club and you want to talk to them about what it is to be on this team, what will you tell them?
Just from the players' point, it started from my captain and co-captain and Russ and KD. They always set the tone. I'm talking about for us coming in the gym. They be in there, practice start at 11. They usually get there at 9. Now, I done picked up a good habit. Now I'm in at 9 o'clock because I'm like, well, if KD in and Russ in, what makes me think I could just sleep in and not go in? So it's more about leading by example.
You've experienced the energy at Chesapeake Energy Arena. What does that do for this team?
You could just feel the positive vibe and the energy level, and it does a lot for our team. It done won a lot of games for us. We have to play basketball, but we wouldn't have that support from the fans. A lot of times, teams tend to just give in, but your fans stay behind you and you want to just go out there and play hard and run through a wall for them.
Who outside of basketball inspires you?
Gotta be my grandfather. I just watch him go to work every day, work hard around the house. I mean, he the one that taught me, he the one that actually put me on for my first job, and that was just pulling my lawnmower around the streets and just cutting neighbors' yards for about $5 with a jug of water. So, he taught me the ins and outs on how to go get it, but how to be a man and how to stay humble at the same time.
You've been very successful in your NBA career. How do you stay grounded in the success that you've had? How is that possible?
Really, my family keep me humble. When I go home, that's what keep me humble. When I get back to reality, when I get back to my kids and I get back to my wife, that's what keep me grounded and keep me motivated.
What is special about getting into the community?
We have a board that's up, in our hallway that we could write our names in and fill in what events we want to go to that's coming up. So really it's on us what we want to go do in the community. Some guys like going book reading. Me personally, I like going to the places where we going to a grandmother who's raising 6 of her grandchildren and her house is falling apart and you gotta go put up some sheetrock and lay down some carpet and stuff like that. That's the stuff that I like going to do personally. So I always sign up for those type of events and stuff like that. But, it genuinely comes from the heart, and it's good that we do reach out.
How do you prepare for a game? What do you do? Rituals?
I do the same thing every game day. So, I don't know, I'm very superstitious, and I take the same route to the game. I try to leave at the same time, around the same time to the game. I ice my knees around the same time. Like, everything is done the same way, because I feel like one little thing could throw me off a track, and I feel like a lot of guys try to turn it on when they get to the arena, and you can't turn it on then. I feel like it starts at shoot-around. So shoot-around, when I wake up in the morning, that's when I'm locked in to whatever. So it starts at shoot-around, and then it carries on. So it's just developing good habits. And not only is it just good for basketball, but it's good for yourself, because it's just teaching yourself discipline and stuff like that.
Well, Grant, you had a chance to sit down with Kendrick Perkins there when he talks about getting to practice 2 hours early before it even begins. How important is that to see that even from the older guys on the team?
Very important. I think it's critical. I like what he said about the game day starts for him at shoot-around. When you go through the shoot-around practice, you have to be focused and locked in. So even when you get out of shoot-around, you get back home, you take your nap, get your pregame meal, you are focused in on that game from start to finish. And I like what he said, you know, being ready in the morning for the afternoon or for the night game is a focal point that you have to have if you're going to have success in this league.
And I think that's when he identifies the player he'll be most angry with on the opposition heading into the arena that night at shoot-around as well. That's an important part of his pregame regimen as well.
And I know he mentioned earlier, and Serge Ibaka has mentioned this already this year, that he really relies on that communication by Kendrick Perkins. How important is that on the defensive side of the ball for those younger players who look to Kendrick to know where to go?
Well, there's almost like a string that goes on the defensive end of the floor, and the string, when it pulls, needs to come in that direction or vice versa. And Kendrick anchors the defense. I mean, he really is vocal in verbalizing where guys need to be at specific times, and you've got to do it quickly, Grant. He does it very decisively, and these guys rely on hearing that voice.
It's important to do that. When I first came into the NBA, there was a guy that was doing that. You could hear his voice over the crowd, everybody in the arena, and it was Rick Mahorn. And when he started to do that, and I noticed how his guards responded to his voice, I started to pick that up, and you could hear my voice when I was playing. You could hear it over the crowd. You could hear it from one end of the floor to the other on both ends of the floor, and I think that's where Perkins is, because that communication is so important, because it gives your teammates the impression that somebody's telling them where to go, how to do it, what's coming behind them, what's coming on the side of them. And you listen to that as a point guard, as a small forward. Somebody's communicating with you on the defensive end. It definitely helps.
I always like to see these sit-downs, though, because you see another side of the player, especially a guy like Kendrick Perkins, who's so serious when he gets out on the court, but such a nice, can we call him a big softie? Oh, probably
no.
Not. He wouldn't like that.
No, that wouldn't work.
But very cool to get to sit down with him and get to know him and his superstitions and all of that goes into that game day preparation.
Absolutely. I think one other thing I got to say about Kendrick Perkins that's been impressive is the fact that when he came to this ball club, he wasn't a very good free throw shooter. And one of the things that he talked about, he recognized that the Oklahoma City Thunder, being one of the top teams in the NBA at free throw shooting, he felt like he did not want to be the guy that was going to bring the ball club down. He spent a lot of time working on his free throws, and he's much better.
Yeah, in his last 10 games, he's averaging 41% from the field, 5 boards, 5 points per game. Big part of this team.
Ahead on Thunder Insider.
It's fun to make the kids happy and surprise the kids.
We had a get together with Serge Ibaka, and he bought everyone Christmas presents.
Thunder fans, it's time to vote your Thunder players into the 2013 NBA All-Star Game in Houston. Just visit thunder.nba.com and click on the All-Star button to learn all about the different ways to vote. You're able to vote for all of your Thunder players once every 24 hours. Remember, fans, vote Thunder, vote often. Welcome back as Thunder Insider rolls on. Well, everyone knows that Santa Claus wears a big red suit and has a long white beard. But this Christmas, Santa also came in the form of a 6'10" power forward from the Congo. This year, Serge Ibaka brought Christmas cheer to a very special group of kids from Novo Ministries.
It was just such a treat for us to be able to have the Oklahoma City Thunder throw an amazing Christmas party for the children of the Oak Grove Housing Development. We're so honored that Serge chose us and chose our kids to bless on such a special day.
What's your name? Melissa. ¿Hablas español, Melissa? Sí? Ah, muy bien. Felicidades, ¿eh?
We had over 95 boys and girls that were here, and dozens of parents. Everything went really smooth. The kids are leaving happy and just absolutely excited about a wonderful treat. These kids and these families realized that they were noticed and that somebody cares about them. When we were preparing for the event, telling the parents and children about today and what was going to happen, we had a couple of parents, they actually started crying because they said, you know, we've been wondering, how are we going to do something special for Christmas? How are we going to provide gifts? And then just to be told a few days in advance that they were going to be blessed with gifts and to have a visit from someone so special was exciting for them.
Trying to make the kids happy and surprise the kids, you know, I really enjoy it to be here with the kids.
We had a get together with Serge Ibaka, and he bought everyone Christmas presents. I was shocked because how tall he was.
It was awesome, man. It was a blessing to be here with my son today, you know, and enjoy the, you know, this event with him and, you know, just to be out with him.
It's always good, you know, it's always good. I feel good every time to get back in the community, to be with the community. The best, I do my best I can every time I have time, you know, and I really enjoy it. Merry Christmas.
We are huge Thunder fans as an organization, as an individual, and to have the Oklahoma City Thunder here, and then especially to have Serge here with us today is just amazing, and it's actually like a dream come true.
Well, while Serge hosted that party and handed out Christmas gifts to the 95 kids there, Kevin Durant was also spending time with some kids at Positive Tomorrows, a nonprofit private school that helps children who are homeless. These kids not only got autographs, but also some pretty cool kicks.
What's going on? How y'all doing today?
Well, we always have great fun when we have a Thunder player here, and today we had Kevin Durant here to bring shoes to our kids.
All right.
You don't look like Katie.
I don't? Who I look like then?
Positive Tomorrows is a nonprofit private school that's designed specifically for the needs of children who are homeless. Our kids are living in the shelters or staying in people's couches, all those kinds of things. And we teach the same as any other public school would, but we really try to take care of the special needs that homeless children have.
Let's see if these work, all right? Well, it's always exciting to come out and give back, and you know, it's the least I can do, and really, you know, appreciate being a part of this community. So it's always fun to come back and show our care. They feel good? There you go.
Okay, sorry.
Let me help you put yours on. I didn't forget about you, baby.
It shows them something larger outside of their normal experience.
You're welcome. Don't even worry about it.
One of the things we work on the hardest is to give our children hope. And that's part of what they see when we have a visit from somebody like that.
You got the best socks out of everybody.
One little girl who was really excited because she had pink shoes. I mean, just a lot of things that kind of builds on itself sometimes.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, you know. Around this time of year, it's always about giving. So just try to come out there and do my part. Well, first of all, I just love being around kids. They inspire me so much, and you know, I always have so much faith, and I really look up to kids.
Some of our young men, they learn to exude kind of a tough persona. So to be able to see a gentle giant like that come in and talk softly and be mild-mannered, that's really important for the boys.
Thank you, Kevin!
Ahead on Thunder Insider.
We got to hang out with the kids around Christmas time. I've been making Santa Clauses all day. Give the kids change of pace, something to do, some more fun stuff to do today. I think everybody's having a good time.
Thunder fans, don't forget to take part in our Watch and Win contest brought to you by your Oklahoma Chevy team dealers. Just visit thunder.nba.com for a chance to win tickets to an upcoming home game. Just enter the code 4451 or text the code to 68278 for your chance to win. Welcome back to Thunder Insider as we wrap up this week's show. Well, you just heard about a couple of the Thunder players spreading Christmas cheer around OKC, and so did the entire team. Before they departed for Miami, they made a special trip to OU Children's Hospital to lift the spirits of the kids who had to spend their holidays there.
CDs,
the kids and have them enjoy Christmas. Doing a lot of different events, video games, coloring, different things like that, which is great. So.
You like it like that?
We got to hang out with the kids around Christmas time. I've been making Santa Clauses all day long. But we're just trying to have fun and just give the kids a change of pace, something to do, some more fun stuff to do today. I think everybody's having a good time.
I think it's a great thing that these guys come out here with the holidays being as close as they are. These guys, they don't have to do this kind of thing. And it's wonderful around the holidays for these guys to come out and show their support of the community.
You got glue in your hair.
No, I got glue everywhere. That's okay. We helped them made some of these and coloring with them, and just spend some time with them was a good day.
It's good. You want to be on TV with me? Come on, we can be on TV together. It's good. It's a great experience. I think it puts smiles on the kids' faces, and it's a great experience. So I love it.
Well, we have a daughter that's in the floors upstairs, and she's having all kinds of seizures and that kind of thing. And to see these guys, their hearts, it's one thing to see them play basketball, and it's wonderful that they're bringing honor to Oklahoma City area.
I'm sure it's something that they remember for a long time. We really like to spend time with the kids, especially this time of year. I think it's special for us, special for them, and it's something that we enjoy doing.
Well, that'll do it for this week. We hope you and your families had a very Merry Christmas and that you will be coming out to cheer on the Thunder in the new year. We hope to see you out at Chesapeake Arena to kick off 2013, and we'll see you back here next week. Thanks for watching.